fun fact, YouTube is broken. In a recent interview with the head of YouTube Gaming, they admitted that YouTube intentionally suppresses notifications and a channel is only allowed 3 notifications per day. So that means if I upload more videos, you're not allowed to see them, and you might have missed some of my Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct coverage from yesterday, such as my Dynamax breakdown or my wild area discussion. These are incredible features of Generation 8, so I strongly recommend that you check out the videos as well as my Pokemon Sword and Shield playlist so you can keep up to date with the latest and greatest news about these amazing Pokemon games. Other than that, don't forget to leave a like because it helps out the channel more than you can imagine, and use code Verlisify for 30% off of your G Fuel order until June 18th. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the new Pokemon that were revealed. And I already love this, guys. The website layout is clean, it looks good, it makes sense, and we get to go and have some fun with it. Also, this reminds me of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I loved the reveals in Generation 7. So we're going to get more Pokemon, this is going to grow, and we're going to have a great time just watching all of the new Generation 8 Pokemon funnel in. So let's start out with Gossifleur, and it's already insane, guys. Like, this is going to be a pretty hefty competitive discussion as well, because we get an idea of what these Pokemon can do because we get abilities, and it gets Regenerator. So it's going to be like Whimsicott with Regenerator pulling off some other shenanigans. Like, this thing, when it evolves, has to get Spore. Now, it might be slow, but it could also be tanky. So there's going to be some weird things going on with this guy. Just Spore, Leech Seed, Regenerator, GG, just like that, and it's going to be insane. But I also think the designs of the Pokemon are alright. I'm not that big of a fan of Gossifleur. I'm also not that big of a fan of, what's this thing called? Dreadnought. So, not that big of a fan, but Eldegoss is actually pretty cool, and the other things do make sense. So, let's go and check this out. We have a new ability, Cotton Down. So, I already like Generation 7 with all kinds of crazy abilities and things going on. And we can see Pokemon have abilities. Each Pokemon has an ability which can affect certain effects during battle while out exploring, or both. And of course, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield have some brand new abilities to introduce, and they're starting it off with new abilities. Cotton Down, the ability of Gossifleur and Eldegoss, is one of the new abilities. When Pokemon is hit by an attack, it will send out Cotton Fluff that lowers the speed stat of that Pokemon, and it looks like it's just whenever an attack happens. So that's different than like making contact with Gooey and then losing speed. Just you send it out there, and then as the battle goes on, it gets slower. So I don't know if Gossifleur is going to be a slow Pokemon, or if it's also just going to be a thing. And then, like, if it's already fast and just lower speed, it can be an interesting support. So that's going to be a thing. Also, the check mark will appear above tall grass. Seems to be an indicator of wild Pokemon hiding there. And tall grass occurs. Wild Pokemon can jump out at you. Battles with wild Pokemon will occur when you run into Pokemon that you can see wandering around. Some Pokemon will pursue you once they see you, while others will run away. Wait. Is the game entirely overworld encounters, or is it a mix? Or is there, like, I don't even know. Seems like if you jump into that, you know, you'll get a wild Pokemon encounter, but also that doesn't look like the... I thought that the overworld Pokemon were only going to be in the wild area, but that might not be it. That might be it. I don't know. It just seems crazy because from the trailers that we have, just kind of go into grass and then Pokemon appear. So the Pokemon encountering is going to be quite a bit spicy. Going more into Gossifleur, prefers lands with clean water and air, has pollen as a healing effect. Its pollen works on people too. This makes me feel like it's going to have the triage hidden ability, right? That sounds about right. It used to be common folk medicine remedy for children of the Galar region to be given a tea made from its pollen when they feel ill. So just kind of like bringing that lore together. It moves in the wind. So I mean, look at that. We just have Pokemon hanging around on one of the paths somewhere in the game. And then they just kind of float around and catch them. Travel over long distances by getting blown along by the wind. Controls direction by twisting its body and petals. That's kind of neat. Then we get into Eldegoss. I like this. It seems like it has a cloak and like some kind of really sagey kind of Pokemon. No pun intended, because I think that's exactly what this thing is supposed to represent. But yeah, Cotton Down, Regenerator. That's going to be crazy. The tiny seeds attached to the cotton fluff are said to be highly nutritious and beneficial to both people and Pokemon. I don't even know what kind of shenanigans that can lead to, but I really hope that it does get like Spore and craziness outside of that. When Gossifleur evolves into Eldegoss, its head becomes covered in thick cotton fluff. Cotton fluff serves as a cushion, and it's a pure grass typing. which is really nice. So it's not going to have any kind of dual weakness. You know, if it was grass flying because it kind of floats around the wind, or it kind of resembles a jump fluff or something, just having a 4 times weakness to grass is bad. And that would really hurt this thing. But like having Spawn Regenerator, so being a different kind of Amoonguss, I hope Game Freak knows what they're getting themselves into. Then we get to talk about Dreadnought, and I'm not a fan of this Pokemon at all. It just feels kind of too bulky to be a Pokemon, and then looking at the gameplay, this seems like some kind of Tim looking Fanmon thing that it's just a little awkward, you know? And at first I thought it was like some kind of dragon thing, but it's actually Water Rock. So it's a snapping turtle, a very vicious and wild and weird snapping turtle. I thought it was more like Turtonator with some kind of like dragon thing, like maybe just being the Drotagon, Turtonator, just the solo evolution dragon Pokemon wandering around. But this could maybe go somewhere, and if it evolves, that could be onto something. But Water Rock, that's just a solid typing overall. We see it in some of the fossil Pokemon, we see it in just a lot of Pokemon in general, and that can be fairly successful. Has a good amount of weaknesses, but doesn't like immediately die, and it could have a little bit of bulk behind it. So Strong Jaw, Shell Armor. We know these abilities. I don't know what setup this thing could have for Shell Armor to be useful, but Strong Jaw looks like a bite Pokemon. Could have something ridiculous. This could be like a 20 speed, high defenses, 140 attack Pokemon, so you kind of have to blow it up, and then it uses like a Strong Jaw boost and just nukes you out or something like that, and it could be alright, or maybe it'll just be bad. We'll see what happens. Sharp, jagged fangs of the bite Pokemon Dreadnought are strong enough to bite through rock and iron. Has an extremely heavy rock shell, well-developed muscles allow it to move quickly. Or maybe it is a sweeper. Game Freak is hard to tell, and I think that a Pokemon is really make or break when it comes to the abilities, then the stats, then the moves, but you know, that's not really necessarily set in stone. So unless they nerf other abilities, I just don't feel like Strong Jaw Shell Armor is going to be something that excels like other Pokemon that kind of fit the archetype. Wooloo, or as I've been saying, Wooloo, because that's how my brain just breaks and then values that word. So we have Wooloo, normal typing, has Fluffy and Runaway. So I feel like an ability is going to be Fur Coat. Like when I first saw, I'm like, Fur Coat, right? It has to be getting Fur Coat, because doubling your defense stat is pretty dope. And it doesn't belong to just Furfrou anymore. It belongs to Persian because of the Alolan stuff, so that's new. But yeah, doubling defense stat, that's something tricky. That means you can't make this Pokemon too tanky, maybe kind of, but if it gets an evolution, could have some competitive viability like that. Friendly Pokemon that craves stability, extremely fluffy body, also it scares off easily. So yeah, dislike conflict, they need to escape from enemies, they'll just roll away. Just roll away, so that's the runaway ability. That could be helpful in the early game, and might actually be an interesting little bit of tech to incorporate into a playthrough. On that Fluffy ability, it's kind of the same thing. Pokemon Fluffy takes half damage from moves that make contact. So that's most physical moves, though not all, and some special moves that make contact. So I would say it's not as good. Like, look, all physical, Draining Kiss, Grass Knot, Infestation, Petal Dance, Trump Card, and Ring Out. I thought Psycho Cut made contact, but yeah, so it's not a lot. It's primarily special, or not primarily special, primarily physical. It's kind of like doubling your defenses, not really. It interacts kind of weird, and that's the thing. So abilities are kind of good. Maybe it's useful. Good to see a new Pokemon other than Beware carry this ability. So that's kind of something interesting to think about, that a lot of the exclusive stuff from Generation 7 might not be exclusive anymore as everything kind of develops. And then the last boy to talk about is Corviknight, the best reveal that we've had so far for the new Pokemon. Flying Steel. So people were thinking like Dark Steel or Dark Flying, and I'm okay that it's not a Dark Steel, because 4 times weakness, not okay. Flying Steel. Skarmory is annoying to deal with, and this just seems like another Skarmory. It's an epic nightly Raven Pokemon. Kind of fits in somewhere between Skarmory and Honchkrow, and I think it's absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's going to evolve. It doesn't look like it. It's going to be a taxi. And as we saw in the wild area, you can bike around on the water. So biking replaces Tauros. Biking on water replaces surf. The taxi replaces fly. And I wonder if you can just kind of call in the taxi service and just have a Corviknight pick you up for some kind of fee. Or maybe once you become champion, it's just free forever. I don't know. Said that Corviknight is the strongest Pokemon living in the skies of Galar. Ooh. Are they going to pull? It's level 60. Are they going to pull some shenanigans and make this like a pseudo-legendary? Like a one-stage pseudo-legendary or something nutty like that? Often be seen fearlessly soaring through the air. Many say any Pokemon foolish enough to challenge Corviknight are sent running with a sharp glare and cry from this fearsome Pokemon. Superb flying skills, high intelligence. Many of them work for a company called Galar Taxi. They choose to work for them, I think. Is that what they're getting at with the taxi? Because it's a pretty powerful and awesome Pokemon, so I don't think it needs to take any lip from anyone. It's like, you know what? I'll make some money. I'll get some food. I'll fly people around. But yeah, pressure on Nerve. A Nerve works. Like, Tailwind, a Nerve to cancel berries in doubles? And then if it's just really good, it'll work out. I don't know what the hidden ability could be. Probably pull some Skarmory shenanigans on that weak armor. I mean, it's not supposed to be an armor Pokemon, but it is steel, so maybe it is. I don't know. It's just one of, like, the best designed Pokemon ever. So I like that. I like how the promise that we have, you know. So far, this reminds me of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Wasn't a fan of Yungoos. Wasn't a fan of Gumshoes. Wasn't, you know, it's like grubbing into Vikavolt, Charjabug, whatever. That's all right. But then Pick-a-Peck was really cool. So we have Corviknight, which is amazing. I'm not saying as good as Mimikyu, but like when I first saw Mimikyu, I'm like, okay, just awesome new Pokemon. Adorable new Pokemon that fits in, feels like Go-Goat. Seems like it's going to become a Ram with its evolution, and then that's going to be awesome. Dreadnought, you know, you can't bat 100%. Gossifleur, I like it less than Flabebe, I think. It's kind of an awkward flower Pokemon, and there's a lot of things like this. So I feel like this is like already its own regional Pokemon. You know, we have regional bird, we have Pika clones, we have our rodent, we have stuff like that. What happened to the regional grass type Pokemon that people are kind of forgetting about? Oddish, into Skiploom, into some other things that I'm probably not really paying attention to as much right now. But then when you think about, like, recently, we have Flabebe, we have Whimsicott, we have Gossifleur, we have Comfey, and stuff like that. Or, yeah, so it all just kind of, like, runs together. So, I mean, that's whatever. But then this is a pretty cool thing. And if it evolves again, I don't know how or if it's going to evolve again, but we might just get a ton of two-stage evolutions like we did with Pokemon Sun and Moon, and a lot of one-stages. Like, we just got a little bit of everything, you know? One stage, two-stage with an evolution on the second trailer already. More to be exposed, and then a lot of other things to look forward to. So that's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting to see how all this develops. I like the Pokemon. Competitively, it seems like they work out, and that's going to be it. So we're going to have all this just grow. We're going to get more information. E3's coming up, more Pokemon reveals, and then the game is out. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.